Welcome to Earth and Kind Quests. My name is Mike. This video shares about creating and then destroying a setting in Dungeons & Dragons. Here I will focus on one example of a seaport town that is part of a larger setting. In the video episode series of Nemesis Battles, you may have seen that a dreaded Worm of Doom has been rampaging throughout this campaign world, destroying one place after another. One of those places happens to be this seaport town. In my homebrew sandbox style of campaign world, this place is called Snowgate. Numerous players have guided their characters through adventures in and around Snowgate in various iterations of this setting. This particular version of Snowgate is undergoing a destructive event. Other versions of Snowgate have not met this fate. Building a setting and then destroying it can happen more often than you might expect in Dungeons & Dragons. Many adventures involve exploring ancient ruins and places that were abandoned with mysterious or dramatic circumstances. In those cases of ancient destruction or abandonment, the details could be missing or obscured about the original construction and layout. When the characters first experience a place of ancient ruins, then the starting reference point or status quo is about a place that already has been destroyed or abandoned. Sometimes the destruction event was recent, and then the details do need to be considered about how this place functioned originally before it was destroyed. In the present example of this seaport town, the Worm of Doom just very recently destroyed this place. For the characters who live here, the Worm of Doom disrupted the status quo and created catastrophic conditions. Most of the local residents did not survive. Among the survivors, people need to consider about the practicalities of trying to rebuild their lives here or possibly evacuating to try to live in another place. All of the iterations of this seaport town of Snowgate have involved a fully functional landscape and community. When the characters explore this recently destroyed seaport town, then they should be able to recognize the original format of the seaport and the functioning of the town. For the characters who already lived here and survived through the attack by the Worm of Doom, they will know more of the details and they will feel more personally attached to the places and the people that have been lost. The characters can identify the remnants of the seaport piers and the activities that previously supported fishing boats, incoming and outgoing trade ships, and the practicalities of connecting the seaport with the terrain of the town area. Nearly all of the building structures were destroyed, but portions of the large and durable seaport piers still could function and could be repaired. The main town was enclosed with a defensive wall with watchtowers and controlled gates at two of the sides. The natural hills and mountains bordered on the other two sides with limited amounts of defensive walls and watchtowers. The Worm of Doom destroyed most but not all of the defensive perimeter, primarily targeting the freestanding walls and not so much bothering with the walls built into the hills and mountains. The main town was inside the defensive walls, yet farming families and small communities were distributed outside the walls in the surrounding terrain. The Worm of Doom destroyed these areas as well. A similar outcome might happen with an invading army sweeping through the farmlands and the seaport as a prelude for surrounding the main town and investing in a formal siege that could last for several days or weeks. Usually, the people in the outlying areas would retreat and seek refuge inside the protective walls of the main town. In this example with the Worm of Doom, the worm rampaged throughout the region with essentially no opportunity for people to escape or to engage with fighting against the worm. At this point, characters still can identify the roads and pathways, at least in the forms of areas that are cleared of the forest and vegetation growth. After some time, then the natural overgrowth will obscure most of the roads and pathways. Likewise, the farmlands and household gardening areas are recognizable, at least for now, and they could be revitalized. I imagine that the farm animals mostly have run away, and they might not come back unless someone will make an effort to find them and bring them back. The areas of former houses are recognizable. Among the stronger constructions, some limited portions are intact. A durable temple or church building remains standing in the town. The royal palace retains some of its components, otherwise the buildings are destroyed. In this example, the regional freshwater source is within the water table. Numerous water wells are distributed throughout the low-lying coastal plain that is close with the water table. The inland mountains are impressively tall and steep, with packs of snow and ice that contribute into the headwaters of underground water flow, constantly refreshing the natural aquifer. Freshwater springs appear in many spots, and mostly the local residents constructed their water wells around these same sources. I did not include a major river here, but I could imagine rivers and streams in this terrain. The Worm of Doom was not interested in destroying the water sources of this place. Accordingly, the natural environment will continue to be just as healthy as it always was. People could re-inhabit this place without needing a major investment with the essential water supply. In the recently destroyed condition, the seaport town could be rebuilt. Meanwhile, it is vulnerable to another attack by someone who might want to exploit the situation for seizing control of the seaport town. This situation is happening in the video series of Nemesis Battles during the next few episodes. A Beastmaster Ranger and a College of Glamour Bard lead an invasion force, while a Fey Wanderer Ranger and a College of the Moon Bard try to defend their home. Additionally, a warrior of the Shadow Monk lurks in the vicinity, hunting her lifelong archenemy of an intelligence-based Eldritch Knight fighter who happens to be here at this time. These character stories, as well as many other possibilities, could occur in this kind of setting. Conceivably, this starting premise could launch an entire campaign. Currently, with the Nemesis Battles video series, the destructive events with the Worm of Doom are creating just one part of a larger story. How would you work with a destroyed town in Dungeons & Dragons, whether anciently or recently? What stories and themes would you want to explore in this setting? Please share in the comment section. As always, thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video.